Hello. Today, I will show you how you can replicate data from an Oracle database residing in OCI into a Microsoft SQL Server 2019 database. This is going to be a real-time replication with GoldenGate, with OCI GoldenGate in particular. So as the solution, what we're going to do is we're going to have two separate OCI GoldenGate deployments, one for Oracle, one for SQL Server. We're going to extract data from Oracle, send the data with distribution paths into the target GoldenGate for Microsoft, and then replicate the data into SQL Server. For that, I have my SQL Server here on a Windows instance. For the sake of demo, it's in OCI, but this can be wherever, as long as there is network connectivity between the two instances. I have my Oracle database, an Enterprise Edition database, right here. This is in the common VCN in the public subnet. The instance is also in the common VCN in the public subnet. This is again for the sake of easier demo. And I'm gonna do every step from scratch. So there's nothing pre-installed, there's nothing done. There's just data on the Oracle database. And then I'm gonna create everything from scratch. So the first thing I need to do is I'll show you, I'll connect into my pluggable database. Database is PDB1. I have my schema here, CO, with the tables. This is the dummy data. And here's the data itself. What I need to do is, on the SQL Server side, I need to create a database. I'll connect here. Connected. I'll do query. Then I'll create a database. Create database Replicat. Okay. Is it all right? So Replica, let me just change the name. Okay. Here it is. And then I'll into the database. Okay. And then simply create the tables, because that's what we need to do. Tables, as you can see, tables are created here. Okay. So the next thing is I will go into the GoldenGate deployment. Then I'll create the connections. So the first connection is going to be to the SQL Server, or let's start with the OCI database, which is Base DB, and the connection will be to the CDB. And then we'll select database, Oracle database, and then we need to select database itself, Oracle DB, which is the name of my DB. Pluggable database I don't select, then I have to go and put in the GG admin user. But now I realize that I don't have the user created. So I go back to my container database this time, connect to it. Let's connect from the other one, from my pluggable database. First, let's connect. Yeah. See worksheet here. And then I enable GoldenGate replication. It's number one. I'm going to be sharing all of these. So I'll do create the GoldenGate users. Right. I'll just commit for the sake of committing. Okay, should be done. And just grab DBA for GoldenGate admin. Then I add supplemental log data to the database. Right, and then I change to my pluggable database, and I add supplemental log data as well here. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll just try to connect to my pluggable database with the GG admin user, just to be sure. And I can. Okay, connect. Works fine. Thank you. Okay. Now I put in the database password here and then create the connection. That part is done. Second part, I create the connection for SQL Server. Connection will be Microsoft SQL Server. Next, the database name is the database name that I created, which was Replica. Host is the host name or the host instance, which is the IP address of the database. 1433 is the general port for SQL Server. I'm connecting with system administrator. You can select whatever else you want to, whatever your user is. Okay, and then select the SQL Server password. And then create the other connection. And then I go into deployments. I create a deployment, which is Oracle GG, or I'll just say Oracle Dep. Place this in the private subnet in the common VCN, just for the ease of use. Please select license included or adhere to the license requirements. You have. Make sure you have public access if you're accessing this from a public net, public IP, or if you have VPN, you don't need this. Next, and then I'm creating this for the Oracle database. Okay. The GoldenGate instance name will be Oracle GG or OG. I'll just, it doesn't really matter what you put in here, or a GG. And then I'll just select the credential store as GoldenGate. I'm not using the identity access manager here. And then you can create a secret, but you have to have a vault and an encryption key. So you have to create those first. Then this is going to be GG admin. And encryption key is selected. And then put in password, which will be automatically selected. And then I create the user and I create the deployment. This is going to take a while. Same thing for the SQL Server, SQL Server Dep. Do the same thing in the common VCN. enable GoldenGate public access, public subnet. Next, now select SQL Server. This is going to be the Replicat server. And this is going to be data replication. And the instance name will be SQL Server GoldenGate. And GoldenGate credential store is going to be, you can just put in another administrator name. What I like to do is keep things simple. GG admin, yes. And then select create. All right. So when I go back to the connections, these are active. Base DB CDB and demo SS. I should have given them much better names, but live demo. So I'll just wait until these are in the active state. And once they are, we're going to assign connections. Okay, it's past 6 minutes of creation time, and the deployment is active now. Here you can see work request started at 11:09 and finished at 11:15, so it takes around 5 minutes. The same thing is going to happen for the other deployment. And now what we need to do is to assign the connection into the deployment. So we'll do Oracle connection to Oracle deployment and SQL Server connection to SQL Server. For that, we'll do base DB CDB, which was the one that I created. And then since this is also active, I will attach this demo SS, demo SQL Server. Okay. Once this is attached, I can go and test the connection. The connection is active. So this test connection should work. Yes. I'll try one more time just to be safe. Yeah, okay. I'll try the same thing with the SQL Server. Yeah, it's so difficult to wait. That's why I click left and right. And this is active too. It's connection and connection passed. Okay. Now we go into the Oracle deployment. What we're going to do is create an integrated extract and an initial load. Why? Because we need to get the change data with the integrated extract. And then what we need to do is do a first load, the initial load to the SQL Server, so that the change data is also sent afterwards, which is captured. So administrator here, password that we specified. And then what we need to do is to add an integrated extract first. Integrated extract. Lowercase all of them. Trail name is important because we're going to use this in the distribution service and also in the receiver service of SQL Server. So it's going to be integrated. Let's call this I1. Because yeah, I1. Okay, base DB. Registered PDB is PDB1. I go next. PDB1 is my PDB name. And then I'm just going to specify a source catalog here with PDB1. And then I'll do table co.star, which is going to specify my schema name that I want to transfer replicate tables from. So here, as you can see, CO tables is what I want. I want these tables to be replicated. That's why I specify CO star, and PDB1 is my plug database name, which you can see here. Or I can just do show PDBs. Here is my pluggable database. I create and run this and hope that everything works well. Yes, this is the first time this happened because normally it errors out. So you'll see in the report, everything is working well. And now what I have to do, we might need to fix this. This is not too severe, but this might be something that, again, we might need to fix. Let's see. Now, what we do is we go into the pluggable database and get the current SCN, which is change number. It's right here. We'll keep that for further use, which is we're gonna use this in the initial extract. Now, we create an initial load extract. Process name is initial. Let's call this iLoad. And this is going to be a little bit more easier. What we'll do is we'll use, let's take a step back and get the parameters from the initial deployment and put them here. Okay, that didn't really work. All right. Let's go back. Again, initial load, high load. And now what we're going to say is, we'll say we're going to be using the same connection, user ID alias, BDB, CDB, domain, Oracle, GoldenGate. Okay. And we're going to say, load this to X file. Name going to be, let's say, X file, EF. Then we're going to specify megabytes. Let's put all caps. Let's do 2000 purge. And then we're going to say table. Then we will specify the PDB name, pdb1.co.star, comma, and then we'll do SQL predicate as CN, which was specified here. And we're going to double quotes again and a semicolon. And then I'll create this. We're going to see it over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the initial load first. That's going to send the data once into SQL Server. And then the IAX, the integrated extract, will take care of the rest. So when I run this, I don't expect a tick here for now, because again, this needs to be done, but I will just see the report that this should work well. And we're gonna check that out. Okay. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff here. And then when I go into the report, and I scroll down, see, these are all the tables that the data is captured from. So product reviews, product orders, products, order items, orders, inventory, which should be all the tables that are specified here. Reviews, we're in the views, yeah. So this is still trying to, so what this is happening is all the objects are being replicated. I did not create the views or any other things, so those will not get created on SQL Server side, but these will, only the tables will. I'm sure there's a way to only extract tables as well. I'm not going to go through that. Okay, let's add this here. So this is initial load, and this is integrated extracts. So our work, we just have a little bit more things to do, which is to create a distribution service. But before that, I need to go into the SQL Server. Launch console. Then I log in to the SQL Server deployment. Then what I do here is a few administrative tasks, such as I create a configuration. Sorry, I create a user here. The user is going to be this user. Type is operator. And then just give this a password. And this is here. What I also could do is go back to the Oracle server. So this is SQL Server, this is Oracle, and then I go to Administration Service, to Configuration, and then add credentials. Credential domain. Let's call this distribution. Alias, let's call this distribution. User ID is this user that I created. The password is the same password that I gave here for this user. Submit. Okay. Now, what I do is I go into distribution service and I create one. Its name is going to be integrated extract. So let's call this distribution service integrated extract. Source is going to be text. Trail name is going to be I1, which was already created. And then the target post is going to be the SQL Server post, which is here. Okay, all of this. Paste it here. Port is 443. We give it trail name, which can be the same. Domain is distribution, alias is distribution. Then we create the path. So this is just linking the connections, linking the GoldenGate deployments. This is the GoldenGate for Oracle. This is the GoldenGate for SQL Server. And when I start this should work well if I did the user creation correctly. So this seems to be fine. And when I go to the receiver service, see, this is created automatically. Now here I have a trail with I1, which is within this deployment. I do the same thing for the initial load. So I create another distribution path, which is this init load. And this is the source for this is going to be the source that I created, which was the X file, which is here, EF, X file EF. So I'll just mention that in the name. Trail is going to be EF, or the post is going to be the same. Word is going to be the same. Trail name, let's call it EF again. Domain distribution, alias distribution. And this is the same thing again. And what I do, I create the path. So there's going to be another path here, right there. And what I'll do is I'll write it down. And then I start the path. And once this is started again, I should see it here in the receiver service, which I do. There is two final points that I'll do. This is the SQL Server configuration. I go into the overview, and I go into replicats now. I create a replicat, classic, next. So this is initial load replicat. And this is demo SS, trail. I select file here because this was the file that is being sent, the EF file, the initial load file. So that's what I'll do. I'll put the file name as EF. Next. And then here, I just do the mapping correctly. I say, my name is PDB1, which is the source, CO, and the target will be dbo.stop. And I click create. Once this is created, the database tables are here. See customers, select 1,000 rows, there's nothing. And now here, when I click start, this should send the initial load, or this should load the initial data to the database. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so customer order products is not there. Let's go and check the details. Report. So there should be some data written. Let's check this again. There's something written here. Let's check inventory. Okay. All right. So here, as an easy fix, what I'll do is I'll remove the views. Drop. Yeah, I'll drop these views for the sake of a successful demo, because then I just need to create the views on the other side. Drop. Right. Okay. These are all dropped. I will have to run this one more time, get the CN number, or let me just make this first. Okay. I'll take this, go back to the distribution, go back to administration, overview, then go to the initial load one more time, change the parameter, apply. I will start the initial load again. This is going to rewrite the file. And what I expect is when I run this one more time, it should work properly on the target database. So let's check again, report. Stores, shipments, products, order items, orders, inventory, customers. Now here, when I run this again, it should work properly. Let's see. What I ended up doing is just to create the views on the SQL Server side. Just start the initial load one more time. Let's see. Since I deleted the views, I'll have them created here again. On the Oracle side. Okay. I created the views again. And then right now, I'll have the initial load run one more time. Then I'll go back and start the process one final time. At least we have the data that is replicated here in the customers. So what I'll try is just change the parameters and then do table PDB1 to target. So this is just going to be replicating tables. If okay, so I'll just map. Let me do this. Okay, so I changed the parameters. I just did map customers to customers, inventory to inventory, orders to orders. And what happens is I just ran the initial load. And then in the report, you can see that the data, the process finalized right here, the initial log. So when I just select 1,000 rows, here are the customers. When I select inventory, there's nothing. When I do orders, I should have something. This is weird. I did a little bit of debugging and then found out that there was a foreign key constraint issue, which I needed to fix. I just went and I replicated table by table. Then I removed the foreign keys in the table definitions because that was being broken. So right now, I'll just start this one more time. I deleted all the foreign keys in the target table from the target SQL Server. Let's see how this is going to work now. Right, finally, we have the green check mark. So I expect products, stores, inventory, order items, shipment, and customers to be have data. I have shipments here, products here, orders. I have nothing yet because weirdly I didn't replicate orders. Order items here and customers here. And as the final thing, what I'll need to do is to create the integrated service, the integrated extractor, another one. Okay. See what's wrong. It should have worked. Okay. So this is just finalized. And now I'll do a classic Replicat again. This time this is going to be integrated extract. MOSS. This is going to be from a trail file now. the distribution service is I1. So we're going to use I1 here. And then we're going to go next. I'll do the same mapping here. So let's go to overview, open that in a new tab. Details, parameters, I'll just copy this. Paste it here, create this. So what I expect right now to happen is whatever I change on premise, on the base DB, on the Oracle DB, I expect that to be replicated here. Let's start this. Now, I go to my Oracle database, customers, and I do go to the table, customers table, data, add. I add 1,000 here as the number. Testing at oracle.com, and then testing data. Commit. Successful. So I'll just go back to the data again, customer ID. So I should expect 1,000 to appear on the other side. Customers. I'll just do an old school scroll. And here we go. We have this replicated here. And then let's also check the report. Details, statistics, one insert to customers table. And the report is here. So again, for example, if I go in inventory, this is going to be difficult. So let's just do something that is easier. Okay, store 24 up to 2400. I'm gonna represent. And then latitude, longitude, I'll just copy these from the other one. Then commit. Then I go to stores here. Select 1,000 rows, and then I have it here. So this is how we replicate data from Oracle database to SQL Server. And I'll be pasting the data that I have with the screenshots and everything to the GitHub, and I think you will be able to see it in the comment section below. And happy replications. Thank you.